I know how to thank you. That's it.
Hello? Hey, one of them's moving.
Oh, can you hear us?
Ah, wrong button. Can we hear ourselves yet? Hey!
Hey.
Alright, we fixed the sound. Sorry about that. We had a problem with the sound. So, like we were saying, if you got any questions about homesteading or uh, food storage or any of that kind of stuff, just put them in the comments and we'll try to get to them.
All right. So what were we doing? Oh, when we discovered nobody could hear us. I was going to tell you guys. So changed insurance companies, and they don't cover the medication that I'm currently on for insulin, and so long, frustrating story short, we discovered that we can get the prescription from Amazon a lot cheaper paying out of pocket for this particular type of insulin than we could buying it from a local pharmacy or even cheaper than switching to another type of insulin um, that would be only partially covered by insurance and I would still have to pay some out of pocket for. So don't be afraid to look in alternative places for your medications.
And something we need to start doing is figuring out how to get extra of your insulin and that kind of stuff. That way we have it in case we have problems again.
Yeah.
And thank you to the one person who's joining us. Her mom texted her. Said she was going to be watching. Um, so I just recorded a video. I'll have it edited and uploaded for tomorrow on the Zero to Prepared video series on how to store water, how much water you need to have handy, how much you need to have on you in like a bug out bag or for an emergency kit, and different ways of filtering and storing water and making sure your water is clean if you have to go get water out of a stream or something. And then something else is, since today's my birthday, Sarah got me this cool little Japanese saw.
Oh,
There you go. It's a little Japanese little hobby pull saw thing for my birthday.
which
And
is a very nice segue
yep,
into
and I really like it. It's really cool.
what we're doing for our cheap Valentine's Day date.
Oh, well, we're gonna talk about ideas before we tell them ours.
Oh,
So,
wow.
some like ideas that you could do for cheap Valentine's Day. Oh wow,
Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach.
We really like the Alexa Pure water filtration system. We have I jokingly say we have water so hard you could throw it at somebody and hurt them. So we have a lot of rust and iron and minerals in our water. So we have a faucet filter, just a cheap zero water faucet filter that we actually use to kind of filter out the bigger chunks, I guess. And then we take that filtered water and put it in the Alexa Pure to kind of make it as easy as possible on the filter in the
Yeah.
Alexa Pure.
You use the cheap filter to pre-filter out all the iron and stuff. And I'm really glad you like yours.
Yeah.
They seem to be just as good as the Berkey as far as I can tell, and like half the price.
Plus, I think the Berkey you have to buy an additional filter for the fluoride, and this one comes with it's all part and parcel of the filter to filter out the fluoride.
Yep. So our Valentine's Day ideas, some cheap Valentine's Day dates is a lot of places you can go now and find people that will do like guided nature walks and tell you about different plants and stuff like that and show you cool like a park you may have been to a lot. Like there's people out there now and you can find them on like Airbnb experiences and places like that. That they'll take you places that in parks and areas like that where you would never find on your own.
I know, like, our local parks department does things like owl walks in the evenings and
Oh,
nights
that's cool.
sometimes. They do it, I think, twice a year. Um, and so, like, just you can check out your local parks department and stuff like that for little out of the way things that don't cost you very much but are neat, and you get to spend time with your loved one,
Yeah.
and it doesn't cost you very much.
Going on a picnic, and if it's too cold because it's February, if you have a van, you can use the fold down the middle seats and use that as your table and hang out in your van and watch the sunset and have a little picnic.
Yeah, we still have snow on the ground in places up here,
Yep.
so
Um, Laser tag is another cheap idea I thought of.
that was so we did laser tag. John, when the boys met, my two boys met John for the first time. John took us all to go play laser tag, and he said,
Well, that way the boys could be introduced to me, but it wasn't like dinner where there's no place they could go. Laser tag, you can run around and go all over the place.
yeah. Plus, like John said at the time, if they don't like him dating their mom, they could just shoot him.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do tomorrow is something we've been wanting to do for a while, and I should have got more props handy. We got this one here. It's the dollar store. Which dollar store is it?
Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree sells these little monster guys.
Or the $1.25 tree.
They also sell like robots and like other things. They're and accessory packs,
like vehicles and
like GI Joe stuff, and they're accessory packs, and they're supposed to fight each other. They actually have a cartoon about it, and it's about what you'd expect from a Dollar Tree cartoon. But we're gonna take these things and other stuff and like paint them and glue stuff to it, like model hobby prop building stuff like you see Adam Savage do all the time on his channel. What I'm gonna work on is I got this cool, some sort of like paint gun or spray gun of some sort. It's gonna be painted up and made to look cool into like a Buck Rogers laser gun.
it's got this metal tube on it.
Plastic too. Yeah, that's all coming off.
It looks all sci-fi and
So that's what we're gonna do for Valentine's Day. Just hang out at the house and make stuff and paint and have fun.
yep.
All right. So we want to talk about egg prices. That's in the news. Everybody's talking about egg prices. We're not going to talk about bird flu, whether or not it exists or doesn't exist, and how bad it is. You can look that up yourself. I encourage you to do it. And we're also not going to talk about the Tractor Supply, Purina Foods.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. And Tucker Carlson was talking about that. And as much money as Tucker Carlson has, he didn't send one of his guys to go out and buy a bag and send it to a lab to get tested. He just talked about what the internet's talking about. That's not what we're about. If we had the money to go buy a bag and have it tested, then we talk about whether or not it's good.
Yeah. It's not a good idea to talk about things without having nobody does good investigative reporting anymore.
Yeah. But
So
I don't think we don't have birds yet. We plan on getting them. But we're not going to rely on Tractor Supply or any of the other big feed stores like that's food, because it's really expensive, and I'd rather support a local business that can get it to me. They can make custom blends, they can get what I want, and it's all local. That also means they're getting a lot of their supplies more locally. That includes like the natural bacteria and stuff that's in the environment. All that has to be better than the Purina stuff that's drug all over the country just because of that stuff.
well, plus I would think that they have to do a certain amount of preservative type things
Yeah.
on that food, because it is drug all over the country. I mean, they have to do something to keep it
Yep.
in the state
And
that it's in.
And it's cheaper to buy it locally anyway. But I encourage everybody, if you're worried about the prices, do something about it. The price of eggs, like find some local producers, and this goes for not just eggs, all kinds of stuff. Start finding local producers, producing on your own, getting with your friends, and helping your friends put in a garden. So like you grow a ton of peppers, and they grow a bunch of tomatoes, and you guys switch stuff like that.
Yep.
And speaking of that, we're planning on getting both chickens and quail. I've had quail a couple times in the past, and we're planning on getting those in beginning of April. And we would get them sooner, but we're going down to Camden, Tennessee for the Self-Reliance Festival, and we don't want to have real young birds and be trying to teach somebody how to take care of our birds when we're gone.
Yeah.
We'll get the birds. We'll have them this year. We'll get people trained and understanding how to use it. That way, if we decide to go again next year, we'll have like her sister that lives like a couple miles away, or her brother-in-law can come over and take care of them.
Yep.
Or hopefully by then Daniel will get his driver's license and he can come and take care of them. $4 or $5 a dozen. That's about what there are around here, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends on whether you want bougie eggs or the white store eggs.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the purported cage-free, organic, free-range, whatever brown eggs that are commercially done, as much as $7 a dozen, which is ridiculously priced.
Yeah, I plan on buying, or we plan on getting their American breast chickens. They're a French chicken that's been brought over to the United States and bred. They're supposed to be the best dual-purpose bird. We plan on getting those and then trading people, hopefully get some other people locally that have them, and start trading genetics and also introducing some more cold-tolerant genetics because the Midwest gets pretty cold in the winter. So add some more cold water and our cold weather genetics and make our own unique bird.
Yeah, it can get pretty chilly.
And make a bird suited for our area. That's why I say everybody should do their best to buy locally or grow their own or trade with other people. And we're not doing nearly as much of that as I'd like.
It's a work in progress because if you don't take it in baby steps and you take the giant leaps forward, you're going to relapse, for lack of a better word, and just go back to the easier way. Because, to get your local eggs or your local milk or cheese or whatever you get locally, you might have to drive a few miles out of your way from your normal routine. And you want to take that kind of stuff in baby steps, or else you're going to find yourself just going to the grocery store like normal.
Just add one thing at a time. So one of the reasons I encourage doing it yourself and is because it increases your resiliency of you and the people around you. It also means that like your chickens are more resilient because they're chickens you've been breeding over and over again for your area, or your potatoes are more resistant because they're used to growing in this environment because you've saved your potatoes from last year to grow new ones this year. And also the bacteria and fungus and stuff that's on them is more natural to you and what you're used to. There's a whole big science on that. And a lot of the people who set like world records for living the longest, those people live in small towns and have never left their small town. So there has to be something to that.
Yeah, they're eating food that comes from their area.
Yep.
And so I agree. There has to be something to just kind of eating in your biome.
Yeah. So we want to talk about why we store food. So one of the big things we've been talking here about inflation and the price of food going up. That's one reason to store food is because like if we buy 200 pounds of rice now and then when we're old and that rice and retired and the price of rice has doubled or tripled, we can take that's rice we spent $100 for today and eat it when we're retired and get, now it's $300 worth of rice. And we just saved ourselves $200 just off of that.
Yes. Plus, I know we were going to not talk about this. The meal prep.
Oh.
Do you want
to? Well, we're convenience is on the thing.
Okay. Yes.
We have notes hanging above the monitor.
Because between the two of us, we wouldn't remember a thing that we were going to talk about except in random snatches. So, I work from home, but my position with the health network that I'm working for, the doctor's office that I'm working for, is they eliminated the work at home position, but they have a new position that's basically what I'm doing.
It's similar.
It's similar in what I'm already doing, opening up in the office. So the boys homeschool and John works
night shift
and I work day shift. So I now have to drive into the office, which is about 45 minutes away from our house. So since John cooks and the boys can cook a little, but I'm the main one who plans and prepares the meals. So now we have to have a little bit more plan in advance preparedness, which actually works very well in the grand scheme of, meal prep and food storage. We just have to be a little bit more proactive in it than we have been lately.
Like one of the things we want to do is have chicken already cut up and cooked, like turmeric chicken or Italian chicken. Also do, like, we have sloppy Joe mix that we've already made, already frozen, so we can get that stuff out and cook it for lunch. And it's something simple because by the time I get up and before I go to work is only a handful of hours. So it'd be nice if I'm not spending all that time trying to figure out what the kids like and all that stuff, and we can just cook something.
Especially since we have a picky eater.
Yep, we can just pick something we know he likes, and it'll be easy. We can also open up jars of stuff that we've already cooked and that we know that everybody likes and will eat. It makes things more convenient and easier for us.
Yeah.
So another thing that having stored food has helped me with in the past is when so I know somebody, it's happened to me a couple of times. I've known somebody that has had trouble for whatever reason. They can't get unemployment or food stamps or stuff while they're laid off, and they don't have a lot of food. I've been able to pack up a bunch of food and give it to them and get them by till they can get all that paperwork straightened out. Because me and April, my late wife that I was married to before Sarah, we didn't have a lot of money, but we buy food when it's on sale. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing a video on food storage, on how to actually store food. But anyway, so we buy up extra food when it was on sale, and then a couple times, even though we didn't have any money, and a lot of money, and barely making ends meet, we were able to go and buy or pick up or grab our own food and take it to people who needed it. Sarah's checking my text messages. I don't know. Your mom texted me and said hi.
Yeah, there was another one that came through.
We'll worry about it later.
No, okay.
It's nothing important. It's spam. It's spam.
No, that's not what I saw. Okay.
It was a spam alert. Anywho, also having extra food in the house will come in handy if, like, since I work in the RV industry, if I get laid off, or if, like, when they got rid of her position, if they didn't find another one for her, having the extra food around in the house means that if one of us is on unemployment or can't get unemployment, we have plenty of food and don't need that money. We can use that food to get by then.
Yeah, that means that we would have extra money to help make sure we had the mortgage payment and pay the electric and the gas and that kind of thing. Um,
And it reduces stress, and people that are less stressed are healthier, and also you can go find a job that isn't just a job that pays the bills. You'll have time to find a better job.
yes, one that meets your needs better.
All right, so we're on to the last segment, and that's our Bible study for the week. And it's why we should all study the Bible. And one of the big reasons I hear all the time, like, oh, I don't need to study the Bible. I just go to church every Sunday and listen to my preacher. Well, your preacher can't tell you every single thing in the Bible because, the Bible's that thick and he's only talking for like 30, 45 minutes. It'd take him decades to go through the whole Bible and teach you about it. So you can read the Bible, should be reading the Bible yourself and learning from other people and studying the Bible. Anything you don't understand, ask your preacher questions. You should be able to ask your church elders and deacons questions as well. And also, now be careful with it. The internet, there are a lot of crazy out there things on the internet.
But like we have a Bible app. I don't remember which one it is.
The
one,
YouVersion?
Is that what that is?
The one you read every day?
Yeah.
Yeah, the YouVersion.
And that has like study plans. That's the plan. It has a plan that we're using right now that's helps us go through the Bible chronologically this year. What was it last year?
It was just an order that it picked. It did like
it was kind of.
It did like Old Testament, either Proverbs or Psalms, and then something from the New Testament.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go through and read the whole Bible in 1 year. If it takes you 5 years to read the Bible, you've still read the Bible more than most people have. I just ripped the arm off of this creature. And also, you need to have a personal relationship with God. So you shouldn't just be relying on your church. You should be reading and praying and understanding and listening to God talk to you through His Word. There's a lot of wisdom in the Bible too. So even if you aren't a Christian, you hate God for whatever reason, you should also read the Bible because there's a lot of wisdom in there and a lot of stuff you can learn. Not just what God's wisdom, but the Bible was written by men with the help of the Holy Spirit. But the things that are survived in the Bible are just what we need. Like it even says at one point that all of these stories about Jesus can't be written down because he did so much it won't all fit. But what they did is they summarized and all the important points they wrote down. And there's a lot of other important stories in the Bible like that. Proverbs is just nothing but lessons. Like there's one in there, don't be dumb, act like an ant. Ants figure out that they need to store food, and don't be lazy. And they don't even have a boss to tell them not to be lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ant and the grasshopper.
That's where that comes from.
Yeah. And
then there's another proverb that says, a little rest, a little folding of the hands, a little sleep, a little slumber, something. I don't have the exact wording memorized 100%, but something of that fact. If you just lay around and relax and sleep all day, then soon you'll be poor. All kinds of stuff like that. So it gives you a better understanding of those things, more wisdom, and understanding how the world works.
Yep.
So unless anybody's going to ask any more questions, I think we're going to be done here. All right. Well, if we see any more questions on here later, we can answer them next week. Is that a question from Jody?
Jody wanted to know if we checked where our Operation Christmas Child boxes went.
No. Oh, that's something different.
That's something different.
Every year, our church, and a bunch of other churches, they encourage people to put together like shoe boxes that you put stuff in and then send them to, they get sent overseas to gifts for children. And a lot of times they have like, you put in like drinking cups and toothbrushes, and stuff like that, and coloring books and games and toys. And those kids really get that, and that really brightens their day because a lot of these countries, they don't even have toys. They've never seen a coloring book, and it's really a cool thing. And then they also get to learn about God and Jesus in the process too. It's a really cool.
Yeah, if you feel like it, look into it.
It's Operation Christmas Child. It's through Samaritan's Purse.
I was gonna say I don't remember who the parent company is, but you did. So.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll be back again same time next week.
Same bat time.
Say it loud enough they can hear you.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
All right.
Is that copyrighted?
Who cares? We remember, we his people will start rebuilding.